She's one of my favorite powerhouses. I have a lot of respect for her as an artist, human being, really cool. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the next little bit with our J-Mo! Welcome back!
Thanks!
It's always so good to see you. You look fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So it's really true. I mean, you are, I just want to say this to you before I run off, you know. I'm just really proud of you, the way you're going, and you know, as your acting talent, it's your powerful direction. You know, I got asked a question earlier, we all did, the Wild Crew that was out here, like you're going into directing, like what part would you want to play in it, Jennifer? I was like, just anything that J-Mo thought I could do. You know? Yeah, you're an artist I really respect, Dave, and you know, I think the world of you, love you, and it's always great to see you. So kick ass, and I'll come back and get you soon. All right, let's hear it for Jennifer Morrison!
There's so many of you now. I love you too.
I just want to know, how many years have you been in professional acting?
Do you want to answer that? It's okay. Oh, okay. Hi, Canada. Hi, Canada. Well, I started on stage when I was 5 years old. And then I did my first commercial when I was about 10 years old. And I did my first film when I was 13. So it's been a while. But I was very lucky because my parents were very supportive, but they also, they weren't stage parents or anything. They weren't pushing me to do it. I really just loved it and really enjoyed it. And they really helped find ways for me to be able to figure out if I wanted to do it for a living.
Hi, Jen. I was wondering what you feel, or how you feel about Emma's pregnancy.
I think that I'm so pleased with what they did with the writing, because I always hoped when I signed on that the end of the journey for Emma would be her happy ending, of course. And you know, with all the battles and trials and things that Emma has faced with her family and friends and Hook and everybody over the years, there were moments there where it seemed possible that the happy ending wasn't in her future. So I was very pleased that that the happy ending involved what seems to be a more peaceful lifestyle with someone who loves and respects her, who she loves and respects back. And the fact that there was life created out of that, I think, is a really beautiful thing. I do have to disagree with Colin, though, because I did hear what he said about the parenting. And I think if Emma and Hook have a daughter, he might feel differently about how strict this is.
Hi Jen, I'm Marissa, and I just want to say thank you so much for inspiring me like every day. But my question is, my personal favorite relationship that's come from this show is the real life Jimmy and Josh. And I just wanted to know what it was like to be able to see their relationship develop from season 1 to like where it is today.
Well, you know, it's a little bit of a tricky answer only because I want to be respectful of their privacy. But as their friends and as someone who really loves them both, I think that it's amazing to watch two people be so well suited for each other and find such joy in each other's lives. So I couldn't be happier for them, but I just want to be careful to protect their privacy.
Hi. I just wanted to know where your favorite places were to travel.
I'm trying to figure that out. No, I keep saying I'm trying to figure that out. I keep saying I'm going to take a break. I keep saying I'm going to go travel, and then I say yes to another job. I'm trying to learn how to say no. So, but I know I've said this before. I definitely want to travel to Ireland. I've definitely heard a lot about it in the last few years, and I don't know. I've done a lot of traveling in Europe. I think I'd be interested to go to Japan, China, Bali. I don't know. know. I think I need to sort of just take a little journey where I'm not sure where it takes me, but I can't quite say my favorite spots because I haven't really had the time to explore the way that I need to explore to answer that properly. So hopefully that answers in my future.
Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. I love Brazil. Brazil's beautiful. I think she's from Brazil. Over there.
Hi, my name's Tanvi, and I know you've been to a lot of conventions and a lot of fans have asked you a lot of different questions. But I was wondering, what's one question you've always wanted a fan to ask you, and can you answer it?
Wait, I think you guys really cover it really extensively. Actually, in a really impressive way. I don't know that there's anything I could think of that I hoped someone asked in addition to the things that have been asked. But I can say that I'm always really moved by how thoughtful everyone is and how much the show means to everyone, and the fact that it has touched their lives in ways that's so much bigger than just what happened in a certain storyline, that people are really sort of feeling the metaphors and the meanings and things and taking that to heart. So I'm not answering your question at all, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to give you that answer instead.
Hi, so obviously when Emma and Hook met, they had a connection, but it wasn't under romantic circumstances. So my question was, if there was a moment in the show where Emma fell in love with Hook, and if so, what moment was that?
That's a tricky answer. I'm not sure that there was a clear moment where she knew she was in love with him. I think that because her walls were up so extensively, she wasn't in a position to necessarily recognize what love would feel like or what romantic love would feel like for her. So I think some of the conflict and some of the adversarial moments that they had sparks of that without her realizing it. Sometimes when you don't admit something to yourself, you can get riled up in different ways and not realize that it's because you're avoiding certain feelings, it's more vulnerable than you want to be, or whatever. So I think there was definitely moments of that. And I do think that the moment when she first kissed him in Neverland, she did think she was making a point to him, and she didn't think she was at risk of it meaning something to her, and then it did mean something to her. So I do believe that was part of a turning point, for sure.
Hi Jen, I'm Abby. If you could be a candy bar, what would you be?
I love that question. I've never been asked that before. I think, well, I really, really like Snickers. I never really thought about why I like Snickers, but I'm gonna just go with this. I think because there's a little bit of everything in there. You've got the cookie crumble, the peanut crunch, the little bit of salty, the caramel, the sweet caramel, and then the milky chocolate on the outside. I think that makes me like that, not just because it tastes really good, but if I had to say why I'm related to the Snickers bar, maybe because I'm hoping to have a lot of different things going on in my life. I like having all sides of things. I like being a little bit tough and strong, but also vulnerable and soft. And so maybe all those little ingredients do say something about me. Where is Snickers when you need an ad campaign?
Hi, so I already asked Colin this, but what is your favorite blooper or mistake that any cast member or yourself has made?
Oh, God. Every time I think of bloopers, I just think about smacking myself in the face with mosquitoes. They have a lot of footage of me smacking myself in the face with mosquitoes over the years. But you know what it was that blue candle, that blue star candle. They didn't even scratch the surface of how many times I couldn't blow out that candle. I'm being real. I don't know what, it was aerodynamically designed in a way where you could not blow out that candle. There weren't even people helping me blow out the candle, and we were all failing. So, there was a point where I really lost it laughing at the 27th time of not blowing out the candle or something. So anyway, that was probably one of my favorite bloopers.
Hi Jen, first I want to thank you for the name Swan. She saved my life and she saved many people too, so thank you so much for that. And her life will never fade away. She's not on the show, but She's always in my heart. Story about Emma's tattoo, so I was wondering if you have any idea about it.
I'm sorry, say that again?
About Emma's tattoo.
Oh, Emma's tattoo. Oh yeah. So the original idea was I wanted Emma to have something from her life separate from her parents before they came into her life that implied that she had some kind of draw to her fairy tale blood in some way. So the idea was that when she was like 14, she just kind of decided she was going to get this tattoo, and maybe a friend did it or whatever. It was like something she kind of felt like was like a flippant decision, but really it was the same flower that was on the crest of Charming's shield. And so that it was meant to sort of have always, it sort of implied that they had always been connected in some cosmic way that she was unaware of, but it was like the universe sort of tying them together in a way that was a little bit intangible. But I do want to say, it's very, very sweet, and it means so much to me when people feel like the show has meant so much to them. But it's you, it really is. I feel like it's so important for you to hear that. Like, it's you seeing that value in the show. It's you doing that, and I think it's really important for you to know that for yourself. I think that we need to hear that from each other. I think that's really important. I didn't do it. I woke up in the morning and I memorized lines. I did the best I could to make someone real. You saw that value and you saw that strength and you chose to act on it. And I think that's very, very important for you to know for you.
I was wondering what you're going to miss most about Once Upon a Time.
There's so many wonderful things to miss about it. I obviously love the character and I love the storytelling. I fell in love with her and the story immediately when I read the pilot. So there's a million things to miss. I miss everyone on set. I miss Emma's billions of red jackets and all of it, It's truly an array of jackets. But it's something that's just such a wonderful memory. I mean, it's something that will always be a part of me, and I just feel so grateful. I still feel so unbelievably grateful that this was something that I was lucky enough to have be a part of my life for so long.
My question is, throughout the seasons, Emma had many different love interests, like Graham in season 1 and then Neil. Did you ever wish at the time that Emma would have a different happy ending with someone else other than Killian?
Well, I mean, that's a tricky question just because, A, I don't write the show, but B, Killian wasn't there from the beginning, and he wasn't someone that was necessarily in her, it was not something that she was aware of at all. I think that, Graham was only around for a very short period of time. I do think their connection was very genuine. It was one of my favorite episodes, his last episode. I thought it was a really special episode, and I thought he did such beautiful work. And obviously, Emma's connection with Neil was profound, and they brought a child into the world, and everything they had been through made them incredibly connected as well. So I think because those storylines were so early in the storytelling, it wasn't something that I was necessarily projecting that far in the future. Whereas by the time Emma and Puck's relationship had developed, we were so much further into the storytelling that it seemed to have a clearer path than maybe those had early on. But both were characters that I really loved and actors that I really loved. What do you want me to say?
Hi, Jen. So now that Hannah had her happy beginning, what do you think was the best character development she had through the whole story?
Gosh, I mean, I don't know that there's one section of time that was better than another. I always have appreciated the way Eddie and Adam let her grow and change through every season in different ways. And, she started out not even believing in the curse and worked through that in the first season, and then had to deal with accepting that she had a family and let her walls down and be vulnerable with a family, and then started to have feelings for this man that was someone she didn't expect to have feelings for, and then eventually went through having to be the dark one and have all these dark feelings and impulses that she'd never dealt with before, and facing a more kind of, I don't know, wild side of herself in some way. So, you know, there were so many different journeys that they took her through, and I think they were all necessary steps. I think, you know, you couldn't value one over another, because without the one before, the next thing would never have happened, you know. So I feel like they did a really lovely job of really building those puzzle pieces in a great way.
Hi, my name is Shira. A lot of friends. So this show has touched the lives of such a widespread audience of different races, cultures, and sexual orientations. And Emma and Regina's relationship on the show, whether exhibited on screen or interpreted by the audience, has inspired the LGBTQ+ fans in coming out, accepting themselves, and even forming their own fairy tales. Many have actually connected and even married. What is it like to have such a powerful impact on a minority that has been discriminated against for so long?
Thanks so much for being part of I feel so honored that any little bit of what I've done or what Lana has done with Regina would have any part in being able to move things forward. I think it's such an important time for everybody to stand together and everybody to be there for each other. So if Emma and Regina meant that and it made a difference, I mean, my God, I'm completely humbled and overwhelmed by that. You know, it's something that I feel like I've always said fairy tales are, you know, they are self-identity stories, and so when people are projecting themselves into it, I think it's a really beautiful thing. And it's hard because I'm working on a project right now that speaks very, very much to this subject, but I'm not allowed to talk about the project, which is very frustrating. This is an issue that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I have dove into. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, but I've been diving into in a different way. And I'm actively working to put things on the screen that speak to this. So, you know, yes, Emma was having her happy ending with Hook and the technical writing of the story, but if people projected themselves into seeing Emma and Regina together, I love that. I think that's beautiful. And so everyone's always felt that way. I'm not sure why anyone thinks people haven't felt that way. So, you know, that's something that we have all collectively felt on the show, and that's something that's always been felt on the show. I just think that it's very tricky to talk about, because when you can't please everyone, no matter what you say, people get upset at you. So then you just don't say that much.
This is really nice to hear, that's all.
Okay, well, it's absolutely the truth. But like I said, I'm so pleased to hear that it's made a positive difference. And like I was saying, I am actively working on putting something on the screen that really does speak much more specifically to that.
I just want to ask you, what kind of advice would you give for women who want to be directors?
You gotta make stuff. You gotta make stuff and you gotta be good at it. So it's similar to the advice I give to people who ask what I would tell actors to do. You know, you need to study, you need to learn, you need to know what you like, you need to know what your perspective is, you need to know the movies that you love, the movies that you don't love. You know, go to film school if you can go to film school. And in the midst of all of that, make things. I mean, we really can now. You're filming me on your camera right now. You can make a movie out of that, you know? You know, if you need to make a film on your iPhone, make a film on your iPhone. You can. You know, you can get an editing software that's probably $19.99. You know, I think, you know, you guys are here and buying photos. Like, go buy an editing program instead of taking a photo. You know, like, it's you can do it, you know, and I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in this idea of, like, waiting for someone else to give them the opportunity or waiting for someone else to tell them they're good. Just do it. Find the stories that mean something to you, find the stories that are important to you, and make them in whatever form you need to. And then as you learn and as you do more and more, you'll grow and you'll you'll move into other arenas, or people will realize what you're doing, they'll invite you to be a part of what they're doing. But I think as soon as you know what you want, and you know the perspective that you want to take on something, just make it.